This fascinating footage of a mangled aircraft propeller being dragged out of a very deep hole in Dorset recently got 1 million views within 24 hours on social media. But what's the story behind it? Why was it so deep in the ground? And how did the team manage to find it? Here's the full story behind this deeply buried piece of Battle of Britain history. On the 7th of October 1940, the residents of Yeovil, a small town in southwest England, heard the sound of an aircraft flying high in the beautiful blue autumn sky. They thought little of it. The skies had been full of aircraft since the beginning of the Battle of Britain. But this was no pleasure flight. This was a Luftwaffe reconnaissance aircraft, and one of the photographs that it took on that day is seen here. To the west of the town is the Westland Aircraft Factory and Airfield, clearly visible despite the camouflage. This factory was not only involved in Spitfire production, it was also producing Lysanders and Whirlwinds for the Royal Air Force, making it a very important target. As the reconnaissance aircraft faded into the distance, a force of 20 Junkers 88s of KG-51, escorted by approximately 40 Me-110s and 50 Me-109s, were taking off from their airfields in France. They were heading for Yeovil. A total of 5 RAF squadrons were scrambled to intercept the raid, and the two sides met over Weymouth. It was a gloriously sunny day, and many eyewitnesses on the ground watched as the two sides clashed at around 20,000 feet. Within minutes, the first aircraft started falling to earth. The close escort of Me-110s were badly hit, losing 7 of their number. But the RAF didn't escape lightly. Whilst the Spitfires and Hurricanes were engaged with 110s, the high-flying Me-109 escort dived out of the sun and picked off 4 Spitfires and 2 Hurricanes without their pilots even seeing them. One of the Spitfires, N3231, was being flown by Pilot Officer Staples of 609 Squadron. He was flying as Red 3 alongside Sergeant Alan Feary as Red 2, both of whom were behind their new commanding officer, Michael Robinson, flying as Red 1. As the CO led his squadron into attack on the nearest Me-110 formation, Me-109s of JG2 dived upon them. Oberleutnant Anton Marder and Lieutenant Egon Meyer picked their targets carefully and blew the unsuspecting Red 2 and 3 out of the sky. Alan Feary was killed when he bowed out too low from his spinning Spitfire. Michael Staples, on the other hand, bowed out immediately and floated down from almost 20,000 feet to land just east of Blandford Forum. His right leg was badly lacerated, and the story goes that he flagged down a bus heading for town, where he admitted himself to the Blandford Cottage Hospital. Meanwhile, his pilotless Spitfire continued in its final dive and plunged into the ground to the northwest of the town on the banks of the River Stour. And there it stayed. The surface wreckage was cleared up at the time, but the majority of the wreckage was left deep in the soft ground. A Battle of Britain time capsule. Many people had searched for Staples' Spitfire, but to no joy. The problem was that the riverbank into which the Spitfire crashed was no longer a riverbank. The archaeology team used period maps and eyewitness accounts to pinpoint the likely crash site. Sure enough, surface fragments were found, and when a magnetometer was used on the site, a strong reading was detected, very deep inside the earth. Wing leader Ian Hutchkiss, who was part of the archaeology team, takes up the story.
The landowner would only allow a hand dig because he was worried about his tenants' cows falling in a hole with a big digger. So, first day it was very much shoveling by hand, pulling out quite a lot of stuff, and then getting down deeper than we thought we would, and finding the big cog off the back of the propeller. We thought that'd be fairly easy to pull out, put a strap round it, attached it to a tree and started winching against the tree, but unfortunately the cog certainly wasn't moving and the tree looked like it might do, so it was plan B. The following weekend we came back with a digger And this time we were able to take away more of the soil from around the prop and then winch it out straight away. And it saw the light of day for the first time in 80 odd years.
The team was delighted. This was a rare find, a metal Spitfire Mark I de Havilland propeller with all 3 blades still attached. Usually, if the engine was still under power, the blades would separate on impact. This wreckage therefore confirms that the engine was badly damaged before hitting the ground. But why was the propeller buried so deep? The answer is simple. The ground was soft, the Spitfire was travelling very fast, and a Spitfire is 30 feet long. Now, considering the prop was found 20 feet below the surface, the depth is perfectly understandable. To show how soft the ground was, it's amazing to see how well preserved the de Havilland badge remained, considering it was the first thing to hit the ground at over 300 miles per hour. Michael Staples slowly recovered from his wounds and got married in October 1941. Sadly, less than a month later, Michael was killed in this Beaufighter, T-4638, when it hit Quarley Hill at night after attempting to land. He was 24 years old. His younger brother, Philip, joined the Royal Armoured Corps and was also killed in action in October 1944.